So thanks for being here with us.
No worries.
Is it this your second time here at Euroblast?
Yeah, it's our second time here. We played in 2014, I think, last time. We were on the big stage that time, we're on the little one this time, so but it's all good. It was a bit last minute, us coming here. But John sorted us out, he said, sure, you can play on the Friday, that's fine. So yeah, second time here, just as excited.
It's actually the first time I saw you was actually here, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a strange show because we weren't really used to the big stages, but
okay.
Real good fun, yeah.
So how do you like festivals compared to the smaller shows? Is there...
Well, I like them, I suppose. They're normally bigger crowds, bigger stages, you get looked after.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't get that at the smaller shows, but yeah, it's a nice atmosphere, especially because we're sticking around after the show. We're going to stay here for the whole weekend, so
okay, cool.
I think we're going to have a pretty good time, yeah.
And what do you think are the drawbacks of playing bigger shows? Like less personal, or
potentially, yeah. You are more disconnected from the audience a little bit if there is that gap, which we won't have the problem downstairs. Downstairs is going to be real cozy, but when we did play the big stage, it was quite distant. I suppose it's a lot more kind of hectic. You got a lot more bands playing. You have to be on and off, and you got people shouting, "Come on, let's go!"
Yeah.
So, but they're hardly drawbacks, Okay. It's just different.
Yeah. Are you going to be checking any other bands here at the festival?
Of course, as many as possible. We'll be sticking around, having a few drinks, having a few smokes, checking out the bands, man. Of course.
And which, for example, do you have like specific plans?
I guess I'm excited to see our UK friends. Got No Consequence and Shields. Really love those two bands. They're great. We'll be checking them out. Disperse, I'm pretty excited to see.
Okay, cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You've returned now with the new album.
That's right.
Infinite Unknown.
Yeah.
And are you actually satisfied at the moment how people react to it, or?
Yeah, I mean, so far so good. I mean, lots of people have been saying it's really good. Like, they're loving it. They're playing it on repeat. Loads of great feedback. Can't complain, really. Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
You are going to get people that dislike it, of course. With any music,
Yeah.
But we're very happy with the ratio of people that like it to dislike so far.
Okay.
It seems cool.
Creative process. What's the kind of work you do, and how long did it take to finish the album?
Okay. Well, the creative process specifically for this album was, basically me locked in my room, just writing as much as possible. I spent a lot of time just kind of trying to create kind of weird noises and weird ambiences and making it strange as possible before I wrote the actual metal side of it.
Okay.
So that actually came first, the more chilled side. So it was kind of like writing two albums separately and then just trying to get them to work together.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was quite a kind of challenging but kind of different way of approaching it, and it gave me a kind of a fresher approach and a lot more kind of inspiration.
Okay.
To just kind of create the non-metal things first and just try and bring in those kind of weird influences into the music a lot more. That was kind of a massive focal point for me anyway.
Okay.
And then the groove and the riffs came afterwards. And that came a lot easy. Pretty easy once you've got the structures down, the drums and the ambience, the grooves and the riffs can kind of slot in nicely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So also with the Sovereign.
Yeah.
The break, is that also like in that kind of process where you just create the atmospheres first and then...
Absolutely. Okay. So it's the order was the groove, not necessarily the notes or the melody, but just the kind of the rhythm, and then you write the ambience and the synths over that, and then it was the guitars and the bass that came last. Well, the vocals came last, but so the kind of the metal side was right at the end, whereas the groove and the ambience and the electronics and the synths were all first. So I really wanted to get that sound nailed in first.
Okay.
So in reference to your question about the Sovereign break, it was literally just drums and the kind of the glitches. That was first, and then it was the guitars afterwards.
That's a really mind-breaking part in my opinion.
It's strange, but it worked.
Yeah, I was listening to it first and I was like, what is going on there?
Yeah, it took a while. Lots of fiddling about at 3 a.m. in the morning, just like, maybe I could do this. Yeah,
that's cool.
Thanks, man.
So is that something you did first this time, and did your process actually change with this album, or did you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with all the previous albums, it was very much a case of just write a song, record it, it's done. You know, like there was no kind of thought process. There was no kind of what am I trying to achieve here? What are my specific goals for this? So, like I said, with this album, it was much more about boosting those stranger influences and those stranger sounds and the weird kind of, you know, feel to it. So that was something I really wanted to focus on. So I did spend a lot of time, like I say, in the middle of the night, just waking up thinking, oh, that's a really cool idea. Let's get that down. And 90% of it just goes in the bin. Like, no, I'm not going to use that. That's crap. But you know, write stoned, edit sober. That's it.
Okay. Because we're at Euroblast and there are a lot of gear nerds and just like people like that here. What is the equipment you used?
Okay, so I'm glad you asked that, because I made a very specific point with this album, at least on my kind of creative side of it, of only using free or stock VSTs. I didn't want any expensive gear. I wanted to prove a point that you can be creative, you can make interesting sounds just by using free stuff. You just gotta be creative, just be there's no point, you know, buying I mean, there is a point, but it's not something I enjoy, kind of buying preset packs or preset sounds, or throw this on your Kemper and there you go, it's done. You know, I wanted something that was very unique to us, very something I could say, I made that sound, I made that sound, I made that sound, and it was all using free stuff. Didn't cost me a penny.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Just for the live part of it. What, except for Euroblast, what are your plans for touring, and just are you planning a full tour soon?
Yeah. This winter we're hoping to get on the road for a few weeks, and then the majority of the touring will be next year.
Okay.
It takes a lot of time, a lot of persuading people to make stuff like that happen. It is tough, especially in the kind of the music industry these days. There's a lot of I don't know how to explain it, but it is just very hard to get up to those higher levels and get the big tours, because it's such a competitive industry, you know. But we're gonna get there. Yeah, sure. We got plans. We got plans.
And then a last question about the future. How do you see yourself in 10 years, maybe?
In 10 years, old and grey. No. Well, hopefully we'll still be going if it carries on. If people are still interested in us, then we'll still be doing it. Simple as that. Okay. You know, as soon as we feel it's, you know, not worth it, then cool. But we still love it. We still love what we do. We still enjoy doing it, and that's pretty much the only reason we do it. So until we stop enjoying it, we'll carry on. And if we're still enjoying it in 10 years, you'll still be seeing us on stage in 10 years.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thank you.
Awesome.